The gas lamp sputtered, a dying ember against the oppressive darkness that had swallowed the cobbled alleyway. Rain, thick and cold, hammered against my cloak, each drop a tiny, icy hammer blow against my resolve. The leather-bound journal, damp and heavy, felt like a lead weight against my chest, a morbid anchor tethering me to the chilling narrative of my brother Silas. He had always possessed a restless spirit, a hunger for knowledge that bordered on obsession. Where I found solace in the ordered world of academia, he sought the thrill of the unknown, the whispers of forgotten lore. His fascination with the occult, initially a harmless curiosity, had spiraled into a dangerous obsession, a descent into madness chronicled in the increasingly frantic entries of his journal. The library, a hulking monolith of stone and shadow, loomed before me, its darkened windows like vacant eyes staring into the storm. The iron gates, rusted and groaning, swung inward as if inviting me into a tomb. A sense of dread, cold and clammy, settled over me, a premonition of the horrors that awaited within. The interior of the library was a labyrinth of towering bookshelves, their shadows stretching and twisting in the dim light of the few remaining gas lamps. The air was thick with the scent of dust and decay, the silence broken only by the rhythmic drip of rainwater and the frantic beating of my heart. I followed the cryptic clues in Silas's journal, each page a step deeper into his nightmare. The hidden chamber, concealed behind a bookshelf that slid with a sickening groan, was a place of palpable evil. The air crackled with unseen energy, the shadows danced with a life of their own, whispering names in a language I didn't understand, yet felt resonate deep within my soul. The pentagram etched into the stone floor, illuminated by the flickering candle, pulsed with an unholy light. The hidden chamber, concealed behind a bookshelf that slid with a sickening groan, was a place of palpable evil. The pentagram etched into the stone floor, illuminated by the flickering candle, pulsed with an unholy light. Silas's body, a grotesque parody of his former self, was bound to the pentagram, his skeletal limbs twisted at unnatural angles. His eyes, hollow sockets staring into the abyss, held an expression of unimaginable terror. The sight sent a wave of nausea through me, a primal scream trapped in my throat. A low guttural growl echoed through the chamber, a sound that seemed to emanate from the very stones themselves. The shadows writhed and coalesced, forming a shape, a presence that filled the room with an unbearable sense of dread. The figure that emerged from the shadows was a nightmare made flesh. Tall and gaunt, its skin the color of ash, it moved with an unnatural fluidity, its limbs twisting and contorting in ways that defied human anatomy. Its eyes, burning with a cold, malevolent fire, locked onto mine, piercing through my fear and into the depths of my soul. It spoke, its voice a rasping whisper that seemed to claw at my sanity, uttering words in the same unknown language that the shadows spoke. The journal fell from my trembling hands, its pages fluttering open, revealing the final frantic entry. It sees me. It knows my name. It hungers. The figure lunged, its skeletal hand outstretched its touch, promising not death, but something far worse, a fate beyond comprehension. I stumbled backward, my scream lost in the cacophony of the storm. I fled the chamber, the figure's presence burning into my back, its whispers echoing in my ears. I ran through the labyrinthine corridors, my lungs burning, my legs screaming in protest. I burst through the iron gates, the rain a cold, cleansing torrent that washed away the dust and grime, but not the terror. Years later, the memory of that night still haunts me. The figure, its touch, the storm, they are etched into my soul, a constant reminder of the unknown horrors that lurk just beyond the veil of reality. I didn't stop running until I reached the outskirts of the town, the lights of the city a distant, flickering beacon of safety. I collapsed onto the wet cobblestones, my body trembling, my mind reeling. I never returned to the library. I burned Silas's journal, its pages turning to ash, but the images, the whispers, the chilling presence remained etched into my memory, a permanent scar on my soul. Years passed, but the fear never faded. It lingered in the shadows, in the whispers of the wind, in the cold, empty spaces of my dreams. I knew that whatever I had seen in that chamber, whatever had taken Silas, was still out there, waiting, watching. One night, years later, I found myself drawn back to the outskirts of the town, a morbid curiosity pulling me towards the library. The storm raged again, the rain a relentless torrent that mirrored the turmoil within me. I stood before the iron gates, their rusted hinges groaning in the wind, a sense of dread washing over me. I looked up at the darkened windows and I saw it. A figure, tall and gaunt, its skin the color of ash, standing in one of the upper windows. Its eyes, burning with a cold, malevolent fire, locked onto mine. It raised a skeletal hand, beckoning me closer, and then it smiled, a chilling, toothless grin that promised not death, but something far, far worse. It knew I had returned. It had been waiting.